I'd like to welcome you to the agenda or the meeting for the Golf Advisory today. And first item on the agenda is approval of February 8th meeting minutes. Do I have a motion? Okay, and second? Any corrections or additions? If not, we'll vote. I have three other proxies. I have Mark Deal, David DeGraff, and Jerry Foster. Did anybody have Sheila's by chance? She said she wasn't coming, but she did not give me a proxy, so, okay, no proxy. Okay. Golf reviews. Dave, do you have one?
Scottsdale's been open only briefly.
That's what I wondered.
Scottsdale's only been open just briefly, so I don't really have much to report on, although I was in there yesterday, and I want to thank the crew at Scottsdale for saving me. My golf cart, my personal golf cart ran out of power, and they came and rescued it, so I appreciate that. Megan did talk to me, and we're going to try to revive our Lads and Lassies program there. And we're putting together a committee to do that. So look for something on that in the future. We may even try to do a Lads and Lassies tournament sometime in May or June at Scottsdale this year. Greens look great from the road. I haven't played it, but they look terrific from the road.
Good. Mike?
I was able to play Dogwood last Wednesday, I believe. You know, those guys are, I mean, everyone's friendly, but those guys are really warm and helpful, inviting, and efficient. I want to give a shout out to the gentleman in the cart barn. I can't recall his name, with glasses, but he does the work of 4 people, as most of them do. I think that may be right. In terms of registering people, keeping an eye on the tee box, getting people off, getting carts back out, getting them clean, and then you'll see him out on the golf course as a marshal. Or just at least driving through and checking, and so really efficient, does a great job. Course pace of play was good. Course is a little wet, but no, everything was good.
Good.
That guy you're talking about is Ken Lassiter. He is terrific.
Yeah.
He's fairly new too, out there in a year or so ago.
I think Ken's been there a little while.
Has he?
Yeah, at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does a great job.
Mm-hmm. Gary?
Not much new to report. Things looking really good in the pro shop. Play has been good. They've had a big group there today from out of town. They came in to play, but other than that, everything's going well.
Good, good. Anything else you want to add about facilities? Okay. Staff report. Keith, you're up.
Okay. This is the time of year where I start looking for any kind of winter damage that we may have had. So it's a little early to see it on like fairways and established areas. So I went and looked at the new tees at Highlands because, you know, they went in late. They're starting to green up. They look good. The covers have come off. The greens, we have 3 greens that looks like some wind got underneath them. So there's some level of damage there that we're monitoring, and we're going to do what we can to over the next month and a half to see how much of it actually is going to come back or not. And then we have a couple sets of plans of what we might do. It's the putting green, 16, the back part of 16, and a little bit on 7 through the ridge, Scottsdale. So we're monitoring that. We have, in the past, when we've had issues like that, sometimes I felt like we might have waited a little too long to decide what we were going to do to correct it. So Kyle and I put together different scenarios depending on how they perform on what we'll do to solve the problem. He is going to have to cover again for the weekend. So what he's going to do on those greens, we can play the front half of, so he's covering on Saturday, I think, or Sunday, but they're calling for a little bit of cold weather the day before, not enough to cover the greens that are in good condition. But the putting green and the back part of 16, we may go ahead and cover a day early, just close the putting green and move the pin to the front of 16, so it won't, we still play golf, we won't be able to practice putting. It'll be the downside. So that's the kind of thing we're going to do on those greens that are giving us trouble. Be a little bit more careful. Because as the younger grass comes back out, 30-degree weather can do as much damage as 20-degree weather does in February, so we have to pay pretty close attention to what we're doing. So that's, otherwise, most of our pre-emerge has been put out. Our winter team equipment refurbish is complete. We will be putting out the ice machines the last week of March, first week of April is the plan there. We put them out and then Mac will hook them up. So you can look for that. I would say April 10th they'll be out, so just to be safe. So that's general course conditions going into the spring.
All
Ca-
courses have ice machines now.
Yes.
Okay.
Some of them only have one, some have two, depending on their setup. Capital projects, we ordered, and equipment, we ordered the top dresser last November. We knew December when the budget got approved. They're telling us we might get it in July. I was telling Tom earlier, we put another spray tank into operations under a lease that we actually committed to January of 2022. They told me today we might get it in November of 2023. And if we ordered another one, if I ordered it this week, I would probably get it in 2025.
What is this?
Spray rig, because it's GPS, so it's got a lot of technology and chip, and apparently that's in the ag business. Everybody's short on chips, but they put them in the priorities first. And a sprayer for a green is not the top of their list, so it gets moved down, I'm assuming. We expect to get the sprayer that we have ordered in November, probably, and the top dresser sometime in June or July. As far as the asphalt projects that we have some asphalt work scheduled at Highlands and the entry road to the Bella Vista Maintenance Facility, not just for the maintenance facility, but for the garden club that works out of wastewater. We will do those projects in June or July as the weather warms up, so we won't have any delays there, won't interfere, cause any closings. At that time, we don't fill. The other project, the big one, is the Bella Vista Pump House here on number 5, the reinforcement. We're supposed to have a pre-construction meeting Friday so that we can all be sure we're on the same page. We've chosen a contractor, which is Diamond C, that came in with close to our budget, within our budget to do the work, but we want to be sure all our I's are dotted, T's are crossed in this meeting. Once we've had the meeting, then we'll send out the engineer will send out a notice to proceed, and then that'll be the point when we set up the schedule. So, you know, that's probably a 30-day no weather delay thing. So, because part of that project is most of it's putting riprap along the sides, and then slurry on it, and the slurry requirement's down to normal water line. So, you know, you can't do it till you have the water at a normal flow rate. Right now, it's about at that flow rate.
Just a clarification on the cost of the project, it came in slightly over budget, but not over the 10% threshold, which would require further approval from the board.
Is there going to be any interruption for golf being down there?
No, because we're gonna be able to access through the old town center where they've got all the construction equipment and down the new Carroll Electric easement.
Line?
So it won't interfere with, unless you get it way left. It won't interfere with anybody. I have told the contractor, just be aware, but we do not have to change play at all.
It'd be worse if it was way right.
Yeah, well, that's true. So I'm anxious to get that started, because as we move into the spring and rainfall, you know, there's always a little bit of a risk there. So we're going to try to get that done the best we can. So the Burksdale Bridge removal, we have chosen a contractor that gave us a really good number. We're in the process of getting the contract reviewed by our legal and getting that set up. The guy that came out, it's Redline is the company that we're going to use. They specialize in removals, houses, buildings, so that's what they do. He said maybe 7-10 working days and we'll have it out. So once we get that contract signed, get them scheduled, and that will not interfere with anything either, because they're going to do all the work from the Bluebird Park side and repair anything they damage on their way in and out. So will not interfere with golf whatsoever. So that's my report. Anyone has any questions?
I just have two quick questions. One, when are we gonna have access again of that tunnel, you know, on Country Club? When's that road gonna be done, I guess? And when are we gonna be able to have normal flow of traffic between 5, 6, and then 8, 9?
They cannot really give me a straight up answer. I would be surprised if it's before fall.
Wow, okay. And then the other thing is, just an eyesore, no big deal, doesn't affect anything, but the rock piles by the 5th green at Scottsdale, you mentioned that there was somebody that was gonna.
Maintenance and construction crews are moving that over to the new fish ponds. It's on their list. They've been moving a little bit. We haven't done any in the last 30 days, but before summer is here, we hope to have it all relocated.
I have a comment. Highlands, I've noticed when I've played Highlands, that the divots in the fairways are just terrible. And there's unfilled divots. And when is the best time for the local groups like, you know, the Highlands group or the Lad and Lassies to go out and fill those up with sand? Is that after the Bermuda comes in?
Well, you can put sand in them now, and that would be an improvement, but until the grass starts growing, it's not going to cover it.
Right.
So I don't know. If as a golfer, would you prefer to hit it out of a divot or off of sand?
I would prefer not to hit it anywhere.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying, from the standpoint of repairing them, would, you
we're
know.
not going to have any growth in those fairways, especially the common, till 1st of June, honestly.
Okay.
So I think if we do, like Dogwood in the past has done one of their deals for the Friends of Dogwood. They usually do that in June or July. We work with them and they go around one time and do it and gets everybody in that process.
Yeah.
I handed this out. This came out of one of my trade magazines. It talks about all the things we've talked about numerous times, ball marks, divots, a lot of things. And I think the title kind of fits what this group has said in the past. Assume they don't know. So I think we need to start up, if we could get in my opinion, if we could get each one of the friends to set up something like they do at Dogwood for divots. And I think we could do the same thing for ball mark repairs too, because my staff or I or golf shop would be happy to go out there to show everybody how to do it correctly. And then they could go out and do it. And we also will put the video out, probably because the bent grass ball marks don't become a problem until early summer. So we put some information out, but we probably would go with a video a little more hard sell as it gets a little closer.
Are you getting royalties on the video?
Yeah, they're charging me to do it.
So you're saying if you know, if I go back to the Highlands group and just say maybe the middle half of May?
If it was me, I'd tell them to fill them now, because if you tell them not to do it, they'll remember that.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna get grass covering over them till they grow, but that'll level it
Yeah. And the grass will come in over the top.
over the top, yes.
Okay.
And remember, on the Bermuda ones, you take a chunk out, don't even waste your time trying to put that back in, because it's not like the bent grass fairways in the north that you get that pelt and then come back. It doesn't work that way. One other thing you can do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it won't.
It won't take.
It won't take. And then you just got a fluffy thing there and you still have the hole. Best thing you can do all year long too is just kind of, even if you don't have any sand with you, just kick it, kind of all the way around and kind of bring it down like that. And in the summer when the grass is growing, that initiates that lateral growth a little bit too. It makes it want to grow. So you can do that, put sand in it, either one of those.
Just FYI, the Friends of Dogwood, they're going to be there for I think is what our
Are they?
plan is, yeah.
They get together before it gets too busy for the golf season, I think, yeah.
And they will do the same in Highlands too.
Anything else for Keith? Thank you, Keith. Okay, today Alex is going to be Daryl and Alex.
All right. Thank you, Miss Ruth. So, rounds of golf report first. February was a good month. We had much more playable days than a typical February. So our rounds ended for February at 5,793, which was up about 2,400 over last year. Guest rounds were up about 1,500, while member play was up about 912. Year to date, we're at 11,669. up by 4,000 over last year. So yeah, the wintertime has started off pretty well in golf. Member rounds for the year are at 9,154, up over 2,500. Guest rounds at 2,515, up almost 1,500. So far so good as far as playable winter has gone. We couldn't be much happier with that. Range buckets for February ended at 3612, which is about double of what it was in February of 2022. So I can speak at the Highlands. It's definitely nice days out there. We are just wearing them out and using those new mats every day. So, and Pro Shop sales in February were 141% of budget. So we get the good weather, we get people coming through, spending money in the golf shop. So good February for all those numbers. 141%, yep. Any questions on the rounds before I move on?
But when you think back of what February, remember February, it's just impossible to believe we're up that much.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you get really very many playable days, I would say, at
It's
all.
packed.
You get,
Yeah.
yeah, it's packed. People will come out on the first 60-degree day, like the whole village will come out. So. And we've seen it, especially this past weekend.
Okay.
So, update on Operation 360. We went live with registration for the ladies version and the junior version about 2 weeks ago. Hannah has filled up one and spilled over to a second, and she has filled that one up. Essentially, she's got one more spot to fill up 2 sessions of Op 36 for ladies. The junior version, we are about 2 short of being full with 3 weeks left to go. So we're certainly going to fill that up, and yeah, I think the
What is
Futures
full?
Cup?
What does filled up mean? How many?
For the juniors, it's 12.
For the ladies?
For the ladies, she's doing 10. So, and that keeps the group small enough to where you can actually get to everybody and what she's comfortable with. So yeah, Op 36 has taken off pretty well so far this year.
Does she do the group by herself, or you have 2 pros doing the group?
She'll be doing the groups, the ladies groups by herself, as far as I know. I know she may have some volunteer just to kind of help her out with ball wrangling and things like that, but I believe she'll be the only instructor. And for the junior version, Megan at Scottsdale and myself will be doing the first 2-month season of that. So, all looking very good.
How about junior golf clinics?
Junior golf clinics, we have 2 clinics set, one in the middle of June, one in the middle of July. It's 4 consecutive days. Everything's set up and ready to go. We were going to wait till March 31st to put out registration for those. We're going to take a few more juniors this year than we have in the past, just because we have a little bit more availability of instructors. So we're going to be able to handle at least 10 more kids, and I have no doubt that they'll be popular and fill those out. We've already fielded many calls about them, so that'll be coming soon.
Just for clarification for our audience, the junior golf is 4 days in a row,
Correct.
and the 360 is over.
360 is an 8-week program.
Okay.
So the junior 360 will be 8 consecutive Tuesdays in April and May, and then we have other sessions, a June and July session, and an August and September session. So there'll be 3 sessions of the juniors.
So when grandkids come down to visit grandma and grandpa, they probably want to,
It would probably be more of a camp situation because it's
situation.
isolated in a week.
Yeah.
So that's,
unless they want them to come often.
every week.
Yeah.
That'd be fine for some of them too.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. But there is a difference between the two as far as time.
And Alex,
Absolutely.
how much is Futures Cup helping, if at all, with the, not the 360, but the junior golf clinics?
So for the clinics, Futures Cup gets me all of my little prizes. We like to give away things and, best putter award, best chipper award, anything like that. We tend to give away prizes for, the kids that are doing the right thing and being leaders of the group and things like that. So they help out with that. Anytime we need any swing teaching aids, some junior golf clubs maybe to give to some of these kids to give them their first actual real golf club, that is some of the things that the Futures Cup makes possible.
That just makes my heart just sing, because I think it's wonderful. It's exactly the objective we had when we started the Futures Cup,
Absolutely.
is to pay back, and I know it's going to be something that all the membership of the Futures Golf is really going to be happy to hear.
Yeah, I've
Thanks.
already kind of got our inventory of used old junior golf clubs ready to go, so every kid can have something to hit or have something to take home with me too. So, yeah, thank you all very much.
We don't have dates yet. We're, every time I throw a date out there, there's 4 guys that can't make it. So it's, I don't know how we're gonna do. We're just gonna have to put a pin in something and just do it. It'll be in October. I know that.
Anything else for Daryl/Alex? Anything? Okay, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Now we're up to Alex.
Yeah, let's talk tournaments. So tournaments, let's see, we got 3-person scramble is our next event. That is not this weekend, but next weekend, the 18th and 19th at Dogwood. It actually filled up today, so we're at maximum capacity. We started a waiting list just no more than an hour ago. After that, the Shot in the Dark at Highlands, first Friday in April, that's full. That filled up pretty immediately like it generally does. It's such a novelty, it tends to fill up. That one's an adventure. Yeah, Folds of Honor is coming up April the 15th. That's a Saturday. Registration just opened for that, so we're getting a few teams to float in for that. Beyond that, we have the Couples Spring Mixer in the middle of May. That's the 12th through the 14th. And the newly formed, the inaugural Bella Vista Men's 4-Ball will be June the 3rd and the 4th. You will see registration and information on that in the golf update this Friday. Registration for both of those will be live on Friday. So, good start to the tournament season. We are ready to roll. Any questions about anything? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Tom, nothing? Board liaisons. Jackie?
I'm one of the lucky things that got into Golf 360, whatever. I'm super excited about it. I took a lesson from her, and I just think she's got a lot of excitement. Real excited to have her.
She is very good.
Yeah, it's great. I did have one question about ice machines on every golf course. Does that include 9-hole?
There is no ice machine on either of the
Okay, just to make sure.
We have water coolers out there.
So in the summer, the restroom on Burksdale, will that have anything there?
Burksville,
No. We were just talking about it the other day where we played it. and
no,
went-
the one across the big bridge will not have an ice machine.
Okay.
We'll have a water cooler there on number 8 at Park.
Right, okay. And I think that's it.
Jan?
Just nice to see a lot of activity on Highlands more and more, so that's nice.
Jason?
I'm good.
You're good. Thank you very much. Comments or emails from the public? No? Okay, old business, the cart tag update. We put together last month some suggestions for the golf pros as to what they might put on the banner across the top of the golf cart. Gary had limericks, which they liked. We thought they were pretty good.
Gary's were the most creative
We thought
by
they were
far.
pretty good,
By
Gary.
far, they were awesome.
We like those. But right now, they're working with marketing as to how to best present them. They will not be out until the 1st of April. So don't look for them the first, next week or two, because it'll take that long to get them done, but they will be out, and they did appreciate it. They narrowed down, a lot of them were repeats, and they narrowed them down, but they look pretty good, so that will be taken care of. Anything else under old business that anybody's aware of? Anything under new business that we missed? We figured it'd be kind of short and sweet today. Okay, announcements. The next regular golf JAC meeting will be Wednesday, April 12th at 4 o'clock. And we thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. We stand adjourned.